I mean, I get to create every single friggin' day. I get to decide, who I want to be. It may sound kind of flighty or, I don't know, philosophical, but nothing's changed in all my years of doing this work. This is August. It's 23 years now I've been doing this work. So, and that's what I want the youth to learn. That you know my story, and regardless of the background in the story, the one thing that can't be taken away is the ability to create. And so I can always create the man I want to be. I say that all the time. And it's been an unbelievable journey.
Chicago, 2008. For students, it was the deadliest in years. Over 600 students were shot and 83 murdered. The public pressure was mounting for the city and the Chicago school system to keep the students safe. It was at this time that I met Tony, a student counselor at a West Side Chicago high school. Tony had developed his own violence prevention program for at-risk students. The program was called Becoming a Man.
My big dream for this program is that I would like to become sort of, the coordinator of this program where there are many B.A.M workers out there, in different schools. I mean, this is it's my baby. It's my life work, and it comes from my own traumas.
Because right now it's just here.
It's just here, and a couple elementary schools that are around, and it's just me.
In 2008, the Chicago public school system was plagued with disciplinary problems. CPS had the highest suspension rates amongst big city school districts. To add to the problem, the surrounding South and West Sides were tough. The lure of the streets was a constant. Tony noticed a shift in student behavior. More anger, more truancy, less focus. Over the next few years, he developed the Becoming a Man program to instill core values that a father teaches a son, as many students did not have their own father in their life. Tony based the program on the core principles of clinical psychology and men's work training.
Man, I tell you, I misjudged traffic today.
The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to share with you what a father would share with his 15-year-old son in a tribal society, whether it was Africa, Puerto Rico, Mexico, or what have you. We all come from tribal societies. And the job of the father was to teach his 15-year-old son how to deal with emotions, how to deal with mad, sad, glad, scared, and that's what we talk about here. These are the students who are roaming the hallways all the time, and when first inquired about why they're doing that, their answer is, I don't know. And the truth is, they don't know. And the bigger issues, prevention of these hardwired ways of being in the world, violent tendencies, anger, things like that. They're coming in here with all that. And that's what the B.A.M program does, is it's a very challenging, in-your-face kind of confrontational program, which is, well, let's figure out what is going on. What's the real reasons behind this?
Yeah, we're going B.A.M. It means becoming a man. See that? It's called muscle.
Without going into details, just basically for not having integrity, for not doing what he's supposed to do.
How many chances he had?
Quite a few. this point would have been 4?
Yeah.
Well, I think he shouldn't come back then. He learned his lesson. Y'all gave him too many chances, and he messed that up. That's on him.
So our membership now is down to 10?
Darius not here.
Raphael's not here.
Carmelo ain't here.
Carmelo's not here. Okay, down to 10. All right, guys, let's start with, we're going to do some acting today. We're going to do some role plays, a group activity. It's not a group mission. Dion was a student he wasn't one of the initial referrals to the B.A.M program, and I think the B.A.M program has started, and I think a week later or so, you referred Dion. And he's still having a lot of issues, but he's become a leader in the B.A.M program.
He'd always think that you were kind of out to get him, and it really took a lot of conversations to kind of explain to him that that's not what I was here for. I wasn't out to get him or anything like that. I just really kind of needed to go through and explain, how I worked, and he really kind of interpreted things. If you kind of gave him a look or raised your voice at him, he was really sensitive to those types of things and took it very, very personally.
I believe that these young men, whether unconsciously or it's not in their awareness, are striving to figure out the men they want to become. I know I sure did. It's not in their consciousness like, okay, who am I going to become? Who am I going to become? When they come here, they're attracted to this program because they want to be challenged by this thought of who they're going to become. They're empowered, like, wow, I can actually choose this. If this program's not here, or similar programs or interventions, some of these destructive tendencies, like I've talked about, they start to become hardwired. That student becomes 18, 19, 20, and has had life experience based on this kind of foundation. You're talking about something that's going to be hard to change.
I'm checking in. I'm glad I'm bringing my grades back up or whatever I was on an honor roll and I dropped to 3 C's and an F, and now I'm back up to all B's. So I'm glad I brought that back up. And I'm kind of sad or whatever. And my cousin or whatever, he's had a heart attack, and he real young, so I'm kind of scared about that, how that's gonna go. I mean.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started in the B.A.M program and what you've gotten out of it so far and that kind of stuff?
Well, I kind of got started or whatever. I guess my teacher felt that I needed a little bit extra, like being around men or whatever, because I wasn't really like getting along with too many guys. So she volunteered me for the program, and ever since I've been in it, it's been helping me. I've been working on my anger and stuff, and it helped me. So it's kind of pulling me through the school year pretty all right.
What kind of things have you seen improve? Like you say, it's helping you with your anger. Like what kind of things have changed?
I ain't really been letting the littlest things get to me. I ain't been snapping on nobody really lately. So that's been good. Lately, I ain't been snapping on nobody though. I ain't been snapping on nobody. Like, I've been having straight worry. Like if I feel like something going on that's wrong, I like try to like make it known. Like, well, I don't feel that should be going on, well, whatever. And then we sit down and talk about it. But I ain't really like been cussing nobody out or yelling at nobody or nothing. Some of the things that happen, like minor stuff, like you say something wrong to me, or it's just I always been like I never really like trusted nobody. Now it's all starting to come around. Why? Because I never really put in that time to try to trust nobody.
That's deep. Are you starting to trust people now, you think, in the group?
Yeah.
You've been in the program, let's see, November, December, January, February. 5 months now. Okay.
You know, they haven't even seemed like it only been a couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
Man, but it's helping though.
Warrior, right. Warrior anger, warrior energy. Warrior anger or energy is the same exact thing as savage, except that you're making a choice to express it in a positive way. What does the word warrior mean?
Like
Fighter. Fighter.
Yeah, but you a warrior smart though, cause they can defend themselves as well, think mentally and spiritually, and they know they've been trained for it. Savage, you just going wild, you don't care.
That's very good. Savage just acts out crazy.
Just doing anything.
Warrior's doing spiritual, just doing anything. Man, we got a small group today, huh?
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
Keep it like smaller and smaller every day.
I know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So
He coming Monday.
So we have 9 guys there.
Yeah.
We're down to 9 members, huh? I mean, that's kind of a good thing in some ways, but it's like, wow.
That's what you about to do?
I'll do something like that. I'm not gonna get in the square. You are.
Everybody is. Can't know everybody's been there, so.
So if you say can't, that means then you won't even try it. Okay, we're thinking about organizing a field trip for May, but you have to earn it. And the way you earn it is starting now, you have to pass 7 group missions.
Hold on, wait.
Yeah,
First question.
Yes.
It don't matter how we get in there, all our feet gotta be in there.
Oh, I didn't go over it. Yeah, I'm gonna explain
Oh.
to you. 1 foot must be inside the spaceship. Okay? Not outside the spaceship, not on the line, but inside the spaceship. All your feet together must be up, and 1 foot must be in for 5.
I got it.
You gonna stop me?
Oh, 1 foot's up. In the air.
Going now, man.
Oh, that we're gonna have to hold on to each other, everybody, since we have to put a foot up.
Ready?
Hey, I don't know how.
Right, set, go.
That was half a second.
Right, set, go.
We can't hold on each other.
One.
Y'all lean in. Right,
Yeah,
everybody
lean
lean in. All right, 1,
1,
2,
2, 3.
You're halfway there.
1 foot in there and 1 foot is up, we good, right?
Correct.
We hold you hold
Hey, hang on.
No,
It's gotta
no.
be in the air.
No.
Gotta be in the air.
Yeah. Come on,
Grab
folks.
it up.
Sit right here. 1 foot and then 1 foot in the air.
Yeah.
What's up?
Grab a chop. Grab a chop.
Come on,
Grab
folks.
it up.
Sit right here.
Don't be on top of it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wait, hang on a second. You were holding his foot, so technically it wasn't in the air. You were
Okay.
holding
Alright, do it again then. Make me like I'm Michael Jordan, alright? No holding my feet. Now I play off on the fly, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Circle up, guys. Let's do a new one.
After several months of regular attendance by students, building friendships and camaraderie, Tony moves into the meat of the program, building a man of character and rebuilding trust.
You know, one of my hurts or pains was not, when I was 14, 15, wishing I had a father who was involved with me, wishing I had older brothers who would guide me and mentor me. That didn't exist. So I struggled to have affirmation that I am a man. Tap. Nice work, guys. Shake hands. Right now you get a contact kick. Okay. You're gonna kick again. Come here. Watch my body. I'm twisting through him. Right cross, and you should be in position. Watch this. I rock it up. What's up, Larry? On Tuesdays. No, it's not going to be physical. Why do we check in? Because we're all men here. We all deal with the same stuff. I know what it's like to be bored. You know what it's like to be confused. I know what it's like not to be sure. I know what it's like to have worry. We all know the same stuff, man. It's just that we have different stories. And when someone checks in, I may say, wow, I feel that too. Or I may say, man, I don't understand that. How do you feel that way? And we learn from each other. And when we come back from spring break, we're gonna go to a whole nother level. It's gonna be a deeper level. And I wanna give you a little taste of that right now. When we do check-ins now, I want it to be one man at a time, no comments or laughter or insults or anything during check-ins. I want you to check in from your heart on what is it that's going on in your life right now that makes you to feel really, really angry?
Yeah, I got 4 sisters or whatever. I'm the only brother, the middle boy. And all us split up or whatever because my mom was on drugs or whatever. So I had moved my cousin. She had adopted me. That's my auntie or whatever. Sister, her husband had raped her or whatever. My little sister. And I was kind of mad about that. And at a point, I just felt like, you feel me, going over there and killing her. But I was like, I can't even do that or whatever. And more and more as he kept denying it, it started making me mad or whatever because they found out because she told me. They took to the hospital. We wasn't going for that. And my mama, she's still out there, so hey, I ain't really paying attention to it. I got my life to live. So, and get right so I get my little sister. So I'm in.
These aren't the students who don't come to school. These aren't the students who are so hardcore invested into like maybe the gang life or this and that where they're a total threat to the school. These are the students who are on the border, you know, but they're not invested in school. They're not the ones who are going to make the honor roll, the ones who are even going to pass their classes. And you see them, you know, I may see these students in the hallway cursing, yelling at a teacher, this and that. You know, my initial reaction is, I feel maybe some anger and frustration, like, man, that's a bad kid. You know, then I have to keep myself in check. Wait, that's just my misguided perception. I'll talk to that student, I'll have him here, and I see, wow, this kid has goals and aspirations. He has a heart. I just want to go back to the very first day we met, guys, back away in early October. And, you know, the thing was, you know, this is going to be a challenge, and we expect to see some changes come the spring quarter. So that's where we kind of are now. What I'd like to do, though, is put that aside. Let's not worry about that. And I want to do is called affirmation. And here's how it starts. This activity is called, I know I am becoming a man. I'm not ready for this. Please speak your mind now, because once you agree, I'm going to hold you to that.
I don't want to do it.
You don't want to do it? Okay. You want to talk about that, Dan? Okay. Can I ask you some questions right now? Seems like, sitting here right now, it seems like maybe you're having a bad day today. I don't know. Is that something you want to talk about in front of the group? Is this something maybe you want to talk one-on-one with, either Andrew or myself?
No, nobody comment me on none.
Then we have to decide what to do here, fellas, because we have one member, solid member of our group who's not ready for this.
My name is Dion, and this is my story. To be honest, I've seen more than any boy at my age should have seen by now. I live with my auntie, on the count that my real mom wasn't right in the head. My father? Heck, I've never even seen my father. I could pass him on the street and wouldn't even know it. Sometimes that makes me sad. I really could have used a father growing up. When I was born, I had too much cocaine in my system. I spent a lot of time in the hospital going through withdrawals. I look at it like this. God must have wanted me to do something good, otherwise he would have taken me back then. The problems began when I was 9 years old. I saw a bag of green stuff in the fridge. I took it outside to show to my friends. Pretty soon, my cousin had me selling it. I guess no one expects a little kid to be selling on the corner, so I got away with it. Deep down, I knew it was wrong. There wasn't a lot of emotional support at home. Growing up, I always doubted myself. I wanted to fit in. I wanted people to like me. Above all else, all I wanted was a loving, supportive home.
You know, his self-efficacy, his belief in what he can do is low. You know, and here he comes to this program and he's getting in touch with, wow, I can achieve things.
Dion has trouble at home. He is constantly harassed and beaten up by neighborhood kids. No one at home does anything to intervene or protect him. Tony is unaware this is going on. However, he sees Dion as very distant and removed. Tony allows Dion to talk openly in the next B.A.M group.
Okay. Has Dion been attending class regularly and punctually? No, he has been absent a lot, which I'm aware of. And he comes late because he is talking to Mr. Hall. Well, she's just saying basically that when you're in class, she says that one of the reasons you're giving up is because you've been absent. So I'm assuming what she's saying is maybe you're not getting that since you've missed a lot of the work.
No, she get mad because I speak my mind to her and tell her what's real, that's all.
Okay. Sounds like right now you're getting mad. I just want to make sure that you're able to hear
I'm
this.
cool.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like, because it sounds like you're doing a lot of blaming out right now. I just want to make sure that you're okay to hear the rest of this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And half of the people in here that's in this band program probably not went through something. You feel me? And they not even paying attention. We in this, you feel me? Because they recommended us go. So they evidently they seen that we got a talent that we just holding back from, you feel me? That we ain't trying to let go because we got other things, you feel me, going on with us. They not, to me, not paying attention. I seen so much stuff that they probably never seen before or never had done them, you feel me? And they not even paying attention to that. And I tell you, I ain't really been caring lately, man, because they not paying attention. They paying attention to what's going on inside the school. They not paying attention to what's going out. They don't know what we gotta wake up and go through it. They go to bed through it, man. That's the only be caring about these people in here, man, because they don't, to me, they don't care about me. They don't come ask me how's everything at home. Only person that asked me was probably y'all. You, Will, and Andrew. I talked to Andrew. Ain't no other teacher and Miss Williams. They don't come to me and ask me how's everything at home, what you going through, why you so angry and stuff. That's why when they do try to talk to me, I walk away from them. I don't got time to hear nothing you saying. You ain't want to hear what I had to say in the beginning. You ain't you weren't concerned about me at first, so don't come and ask me now. That's how I feel.
Now you're getting real. That was good. What I mean by good is that I don't know what you fellas, but that helps me understand big time now what's going on with you. I can relate. I can hear you. I just spoke to one of Dion's teachers today, and she had positive things to say about him. She said that you know, he's never been. Yeah, he's walked out of class. He's had anger outbursts, but she's seen a progression with him in his ability to contain. He's never been verbally abusive. He's never disrespected her. She understands his situations. When I see that, I see resiliency, I see strength. For his situation, here's a kid who's been, for whatever reasons, kicked out of school, struggled in school, failing grades, should have been heading towards alternative programming. The fact that he's doing as well as he is here in the school is, you know, it's miraculous.
For real, I've been through too much stuff and people done treated me too unfair all my life, and I'm not having it no more. No more. So whatever I feel, and I tell people, I'm gonna keep it real with you, cuz. If I feel something ain't right, I'm gonna tell you, and I'm not finna hold nothing in for nobody.
And that, let me follow through. This is good work here you're doing, Dion. This is great work. You just got through saying, this is where it's coming from. I don't know if you guys can see it, I think I can see it clearly. I'm starting to understand it. I'm starting to get to know you better. To me, it sounds like your intent is good, but what you're doing is you're coming out aggressive with it. You're not coming out assertive, which means you're doing something to get what you want for yourself, and you're coming out aggressive where it's causing destruction for yourself and destruction around you.
What I think Tony is trying to get to, and what I'm trying to get to, is it's a shitty situation, but what are you going to do to make it out? What are you going to do to be able to get what you need? How can you change your behavior so that you don't let it affect you as much?
And it's hard, I think it's hard for you to see that right now because you're feeling angry.
He's just so close to that breaking point.
But to get him to the point to say, but you're going to the extreme and you're being over-aggressive. If you notice, he started to kind of like see that a little bit, and it kind of took out the demystification, it demystified it, that it validated him because he was like, I was saying your intent to get across your message that this is unfair is a good intent. It's righteous. But the way you're doing it is destructive. He wants to succeed, but there's times, I'm sure, and I'm assuming here, that there's a lot of days where he feels that maybe he's not supposed to succeed, that it's too hard to succeed because of where he's been. And he talks a lot about that.
Was your father involved in your life?
No. Growing up with my aunt, I somewhat was around my mom because I used to see her in the streets. I'm in the streets, she's in the streets. And I would ask her, like, do you know who my father is? Do you know where he is? Do you know if the person that you're telling me is my real father? And she would just say she don't know. Some people go through it, some people make it through it, but as for me, I took matters in my own hands and tried to raise myself, show myself how to be a man and what to do and what not to do. And I learned it from the streets. And everyone needs a father around. Everyone wants a father around. So by you not having a father around, now you're seeking and you're seeking and you're seeking for male attention, older male attention that you want in your life that you don't have. So once you start looking for it, then you encounter wrong things. You might look up to drug dealers, you might look up to football players, you might look up to someone that you want in your life, and I end up choosing the streets.
What are the things that you look back on and go, man, that would have been cool to have?
Seeing my friends go fishing with their dad. Seeing them play sports with their child, go to the movies, sit at a table with your family, having dinner, and your father's running around, you playing with him, he playing with y'all, making jokes. Family movies, sitting eating popcorn, having that structure around to let you know, look, this is what to do, this is what not to do. Those are memorable times. You don't get that back.
As the 2008 school year ends, the B.A.M program winds down. The second-year sophomore B.A.M group show real progress, teamwork, and personal growth.
Don't take your foot off this one, Albert. Go ahead. Don't. Oh!
Let's go.
Hey, whoa. My leg's shaking. Hurry up. Wait. You ready, man? Yeah. Come on. Don't take your foot off that one yet.
Okay, that one's gone.
Let's get it. Come on.
You know, sometimes I'll sit here and I'll do these programs, I'll do this B.A.M group, and I'll be, man, I wish it's magical sometimes. And I'm like, why isn't this program in more places? They need this program, they really do. It's teaching students, maybe for the first time in their lives, that they can create the men that they want to become.
September 2009. The Chicago Public School System announced their plan to launch a citywide violence prevention initiative. The plan was called Culture of Calm.
3 big buckets I'm going to talk about relative to our plan. One is identifying those students who are at greatest risk at becoming victims of violence and what we're going to do to help those kids. 2 is creating a school culture of calm. And 3 is how we're going to get our kids to and from school in a safer way. And let me dive into this. First of all, what do we know about our students that are shot? So we went back 5 years and we looked at every single Chicago public school student who had been shot or killed. And we analyzed the data and we asked the difficult question, what happened?
Witnesses say about 100 students from nearby Fanger High School converged on the 300 block of West 111th Street when roughly half of them took part in an all-out brawl.
It was chaos. It was chaos, man. It was, I mean, there were so many kids. It was very difficult to determine who was who.
The fight happened right outside the Agape Community Center, whose surveillance cameras caught the whole thing.
The video of 16-year-old Darian Albert being beaten to death has been shown to people all over the country. Albert's death has even attracted the attention of President Obama.
Bring in the guard. That is the call from some Chicago lawmakers who say violence there is now so rampant, they would like the National Guard to step in and help to patrol the streets. How rampant is it? Well, the number of homicides in that city since just the beginning of the year, since January, 113. And in one night alone last week, 7 people were killed, 18 others hurt, most of them by gunfire.
We're going to take you now to Chicago, where this past weekend at least 52 people were shot, 8 of them killed in a wave of violence across the city. What is going on there?
Chicago is constantly in the national spotlight for the rise in violence. The Chicago Public School System, CPS, reaches out to programs such as B.A.M. to work under the Culture of Calm initiative. Culture of Calm works by using student data as a predictor of future behavior. Its goal is to provide mentoring to 1,200 of the most at-risk students in 38 Chicago public schools. At the same time, B.A.M. is in need of funding. It takes the Culture of Calm contract to keep the program going.
What happened to my speed? See? I thought I could beat him. Hey, I'm tagged. You did nice, man. You did nice. Let's walk. Let's walk. That's 4. 2 more.
Worth the trade-off on it being maybe not fully reflecting the quantitative part.
You're a funder. You just donated $200,000 to this program, and you're like, I want to see improved grades. You get the grades, and it's slight improvements. Now you're gonna take your money away. But what you're not seeing is what you just saw there. You're seeing guys believing in themselves. You're seeing guys who are learning these character traits that they're like seeds, you know. It's that experiential part that you can't put into numbers.
Because they're measuring grades, but grades aren't the main thing that you're
secondary gain.
Right.
Before you get the grade improvement, you have to get academic value. Before you get academic value, you have to get self-determination. How do you get self-determination? Like this.
The idea came to me in around 1999, 2000. Since 2001, literally hundreds of boys have been through this B.A.M program. No person, no research study can ever come up to me and say this program is not effective. We can stop right now, and I know this program works. I've seen it countless times. And self-efficacy leads into results, leads into change. And that's what we all want to see. That's what a teacher wants to see. That's what administration wants to see. We want to see change. We want to see results. We can't go from here to here with nothing in here. Or after the year that you filmed was over, we came into this new year with almost zero funding, and we got lucky in that, not lucky, but we got supported by Chicago Public School initiatives, these cultural calm, and so we didn't have to let go of anyone. But
that goes till
June 30th.
All right.
But here's the sacrifice, is that we had to do it their way. We had to take it to keep the program running. But they have their own agenda. It's totally separate. We're just one vendor of 19 coming in. We're one vendor coming in. It's not like they're saying, we want B.A.M. and how do you do it? We have to follow their milieu, you know?
Sure.
You understand the word milieu?
The minutiae of things.
Oh, very good.
Like, I don't believe in bad kids, I believe in just bad situations. So, but it seems like the school doesn't see that.
I'll check in. Last year, you know, B.A.M. was treated with red carpet treatment in all these schools, you know, and this year it started out like almost flip. And I was real emotional and pissed off and didn't know how to handle it. I probably reflected that to some of you guys.
Been a lot of confusion with this mentoring project, Culture of Calm, and outside of that, they have their own in-house mentoring. I told her, you know, this is more clinical, and this is why I've been fighting to try to get these kids to be pulled out of class, and so that I can start engaging them and, you know, having them, because they're not going to come after school, okay?
Oversight with you guys, you're like, oh, can't be doing that kind of work.
Tough, man. Tough. Very tough. Very challenging. You know, we're working with students who aren't necessarily interested in coming to B.A.M. They just want to get their diploma and graduate, and then we have to kind of force the curriculum down their throat, and it's hard to get to buy-in. So it's B.A.M.-ish. We're doing the best we can. I'm not sure if my B.A.M. counselor who's doing it's going to make it, you know? They're getting burned out, man. All the school staff are coming out to me. You guys, man, youth guidance, these are the go-to guys. There's these other agencies, youth guidance is the go-to agency, directly about how great our guys are. So I'm sitting there going, hey, yeah, we're good. You come to this meeting, they're looking at these hardcore numbers of metrics, you know.
Out of 19 agencies participating, B.A.M. is ranked last at 19th.
Is 37 what you guys can do? Is that your capacity? That's fine, if that's what it is. But if that's what it is, then we're going to, what's the word? Recalculate your budget, which comes down to meaning losing positions and, you know. However, we're gonna give you a month.
Our program has grown up to 65 boys. So predominantly Hispanic young men. A great deal of them don't have father support or a male role model within their household. And a lot of them want to try to make changes, but they really can't identify ways to make changes. So they look for the program to be some form of, you know, assistance in that.
Maturity, okay? I don't need any immaturity right now. I need you to bring out that maturity, all right?
Be frank and honest with everybody. I think that I'm gonna have a real struggling time trying to really get that group going on the same accord as B.A.M is supposed to be going. But with these guys just being there twice a week, it's something missing. It's something missing because it's not that constant day-to-day interaction to where they can identify with B.A.M.
B.A.M is at risk of losing the culture of calm contract. However, one Chicago high school is searching for a violence prevention program with the structure that B.A.M provides. Harper High School, South Side.
You know, they want to go to the bathroom, get water, and it's just getting really frustrating with them. But I mean, I know they want to be in the class, you know. I know they want to come to the group. It's just that they just wild young bucks, that's all. So I got to stay on them and home in on my groups and make sure that I really give them the meat of the program.
Just the environment, the school, you know, the environment, the neighborhood is pretty rough. It's pretty a gang neighborhood, gang environment. A lot of violence. Several times I catch the bus here, catch the bus and the train. Several times I was gonna walk through that way and it's like, you can't go right now because they're shooting down that street. With the police still here on campus, we have police on campus, and then we have police who patrol the neighborhood and sit outside the neighborhood on the blocks when school's let out, but they still shoot in broad daylight. Three major gangs, and then two of the major gangs are at it with each other. You know, they're going back and forward. A lot of fist fights over the last couple months. A lot of fist fights in the school, and the whole problem is that if you don't participate, then there's a problem.
You don't ever address the fact that he's in a gang?
And the issue is that he lives in the neighborhood, and he grew up in the neighborhood. So it's like,
He knows the guys.
It's like we grew up together, we're in the neighborhood, we in the gang, you in the gang, and that's it. I mean, it's like really ain't much you could do. It's because the neighborhood protects you, you know, so. I had three kids in the class, 4 kids in this class that were very disruptive in this group, you know. I like them because they got good personalities and, you know, they're very humorous, but they constantly try to manipulate the group. Sandilio, let me know when you're ready.
All right.
Turn the light back on and stop playing. And some of you don't. So that's why we're going to read the definition over. Stop that. Sandilio. It's enough now. Could you stop? Anthony, focus up, man. Every week I'm babysitting you. Hey, Anthony, don't manipulate the group. You said you wasn't going to do that. You think they just passed you because you're on the basketball team or what? What's the deal?
Did I say that?
I'm asking. I didn't know if you said it. I don't think I asked the wrong question. I'm asking.
Are you participating in the group? Are you in the group or what?
No, I ain't in a group, man.
You're done. See, this guy right here, no. See, because listen, Joe, it's not funny no more, okay? So, as we speak, I'm not trying to call nobody out, but on the real, you play around a lot. You cause us to use a lot of time.
I need to be 100% committed, because as a B.A.M counselor, I am not going to work 100% and have you, or 80% have you work 20%.
Yeah.
You have to be ready for my B.A.M program.
Making me frustrated because now I'm seeing it as a total lack of respect, because you respect me, you respect the program enough that you come, but then when you get here, you don't respect the program enough to follow through with, you know, with the actual what we're doing inside of the program.
I want them, when they walk in the door and we get into check-ins, that they know it's not cafeteria talk, you know, and that they know they're going to be able to check in safely. So I'm going to really try to, I'm going to set that container for it over and over, and then if he's constantly doing this and he's kind of what you did, and I would basically make it a very black and white issue that you're not adhering to this, we've warned you, blah blah blah, we'll talk about this another time, he leaves, we process that, and we start the check-ins again, you know. And so by excluding him, if he's not able to adhere, that becomes the life lesson, and he's going to seek you out one-on-one and say, man, how do I get back in that program?
Right. And that's what the guy, remember we was downstairs and the guy, I was yelling back there? That's just like, when are we going to spend time together? You said that I would see you on Wednesdays, and I didn't see you this Wednesday, and I didn't see you last Wednesday. I was like, oh, now you're looking for me, but when you were part of the groups, you kept walking out.
Very good. Very good.
But now you want to see me all the time now. So now it's important for you to see me, but you had me during the groups, but now you don't. Now you want to see me, so. Look, it's like this. I don't want you not to be a part of the group. I want you to be a part of the group. You know I told you that from day one. I don't want you to come to the group holding the group hostage. Don't look over here, look over here. I don't want you to come to the group holding the group hostage. You know what that means?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
You want to hold up the group?
I don't want you manipulating the group. I want you just taking over the group by, I like when you make jokes. I like when you're having fun. I want you to do that. I like that. But you gotta take time out, man. You gotta say, just fall back. That's all. Thank you for having the integrity to come and talk to me. What don't they want to talk about? Basically is losing loved ones, not having positive male role models in their life. That's stuff that they don't want to talk about. They start to shut down when you start bringing up stuff like that. You start bringing up a future. What are you gonna do with your future? Like, I don't know. I don't want to talk about that.
Even though that's the purpose of the program is to get to those
areas. Get to those areas. But I don't want to talk about that. Start talking about, hey man, how's your father? I haven't seen him. Like when's the last time? I don't want to talk about that.
There's either, as we know, a physically absent father. A lot of the students I work with do not know their biological father. It's very common. A lot of the students I work with, their father is in prison. A lot of students I work with, their father's there, but he's not emotionally involved.
So putting on your psychological hat, what do you think these kids are missing? What do you think they act like that?
Oh, putting on a psychological hat. It's self-evident. They don't have fathers in their communities. When we did the group that time, out of all those guys, only 2 or 3 guys had fathers that were present in their life. They don't have positive male role models who spend time with them, These guys are just raising themselves. Any ideas of what a man is? No? What about some examples in your neighborhood? You got a father, uncle, somebody in the neighborhood that you thought was a man? Anybody that you thought was a stand-up person? Nobody? So you had no good example of a man?
My dad.
Your dad died, and then everybody in your neighborhood is gangbangers. As you see, and we just one small little group here. There's hundreds of other young black males that's experiencing the same thing. You don't have nobody giving you the rules to the road, so now you kind of just make up the rules as you go. So you got to make a collage up. You know what a collage is? Collage is like you take a poster board and you put a picture of this and a picture of that. You got to kind of like make your own qualities. For me, what I did is like, I saw Michael Jordan, right? I like Michael Jordan. I know he just wouldn't give up. So in a minute, you're gonna have to define yourself. Y'all know what that means? Define. You're gonna have to make yourself up how you wanna be. So you gotta think about the role models that you've seen in the past and the relationship that you have right now with your father. So if you don't have a relationship, you gotta make sure that that's not how you wanna be in the future. I just wanna go around and ask you, is your father involved in your life? And you can say yes or no. If you don't want to talk about it, then that's fine too,
He ain't involved in my life right now.
He isn't?
Nah, he in jail.
He's in jail. When was he?
Like 2 months ago.
2 months ago? And you said your dad passed away, I'm sorry. When did he pass away?
A year ago.
So before that, did you spend any time with him? How much time did you spend with him?
Every day.
Every day? So he stayed at home with you? How he passed away?
He got killed.
Got killed? No gang violence, or was it random, or what?
Nah, he was the wrong place at the wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time. So you go in the house, you don't say nothing to him, no hi, no bye, no nothing. Just walk past him like you don't even see him. And he does the same to you? Your dad's not in your life? When's the last time you saw him? Never? Hey, man.
It ain't funny, man.
It's not funny. Like we all going through like the same similar situation, the majority of us. We don't have dads, or we don't have dads that's involved in our life, you know what I'm saying? We don't have nobody that's taking care of us. You know, would you do your sons like that? Right. I think I stunned them with that one. Like, you're right, I didn't know why it got so quiet all of a sudden, but I guess that is a touchy topic. They're fathers, you know? It tells me a lot. We in trouble, we got work to do. We have a lot of work to do, you know, and this is just a small percentage. Out of one of the high schools in Chicago area, we got a lot of work to do, you know. I think it's sad. It's, like I said, it's an epidemic. It's happening everywhere, you know. It happened with my generation, with my father, and a lot of the guys that's my age didn't have fathers, didn't have positive male role models, and the same thing is happening now, 2 or 3 generations down.
School's on 36th and Paulina, and I live right here on 37th, so down the block. This used to be a bar right here, this corner where I used to go play Pac-Man. Remember the video game Pac-Man?
You said shit in the basement?
Yeah, I live right down here in the basement. Right here. These are the windows I was talking about. When we moved here, we were on welfare. I'll tell you what, this neighborhood was my life savior. I was on these streets every single day. I was a street kid. And that's why I know what it means to be a street kid. I know what it means to live in the moment, hang on the corners.
Right.
Habla con mi tía en español o solo en inglés?
In English, my generation, we all speak Spanish. My brothers, my sister, but my nieces and nephews, all Americanized.
It was a different time. It was more like, you know, back when my family came here from Mexico, it was, hey, you're in America, learn English if you want to succeed in this world. So
exactly, my father.
It was a different way of thinking, but but my grandmother only spoke Spanish. I am a father, I'm a husband, I'm a great friend. I'm a real nice guy. I'm also a warrior. I also have a lot of anger inside that I hold in. A lot of anger that I learned to hold in from growing up and to sublimate through activities like breakdancing and sports. And I remember boiling hot water and then pouring it into the tub.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I had to keep, and finally it broke, and then I think I got another one.
You know, but my point is that even though those things existed, even though there was, you know, violence or this and that, whatever it was, it's the good times still. I still remember us hopping all in the bed and laughing and talking and you know, hanging out with the guys in the street.
Yeah, all of us eating for dinner 2 cans of celery soup with saltine crackers. Yeah. But we laughed and we had a good time. We told scary stories, and you know, ooh, the boogeyman's coming, you know, stuff like that.
My dad came from, you know, kind of a generation where it was like the old neighborhood generation. What I knew of my dad was that he, you know, wasn't comfortable around family. He wasn't a family guy. Like for the first 9 years of my life, when you know my parents were married and I was in a household with my dad there, it was almost like he was there, but there was no, I didn't have interaction with him. There wasn't where, you know, I talked to him or, you know, I sat on his lap. It was, you know, me and my mom, you know. No, I didn't get the teachings from him. I didn't get the teachings from him how to be a man. And I don't have anger about that. I have loss. I have grief. My dad was a Golden Gloves boxer. My dad, before I was born, played, he played music. He played the accordion. My dad, when I talked to my mom and my stepdad and people who knew he was a character in the days. He dressed sharp. He was intelligent. He had a lot that he could have offered me. He had a lot of teachings he could have gave me. And so when I think about that, it's not anger, it's a lot of loss of what I could have gotten. I desperately, desperately, desperately needed that. I don't know if I want to know this, but I wish there was a biography on his life of how come he couldn't be a dad? Why wasn't he involved with us? Why? I have so much joy being a dad to my son. I mean, it's incredible the joy I get, and he missed out on that.
What are you doing? You get your snowsuit on? Today is November 15th, 1995.
We're father and son, but we're also I think we're kind of buddies in some ways too.
Yeah, we don't often fight. He said to always respect my teacher, my mom, and my coaches. And those are the three people you should always respect.
It's funny you say that. I was just thinking that. I was like, man, that's the thing we always talk about. And now my career's taken off. He's older. And my greatest memories are picking him up from school, going to his games, hanging out with him. And I wouldn't trade that for the world, so.
You still know how to throw, huh?
Of course.
Taught you well.
Oh, Papa. I mean, now that I've done this work, this kind of work, men's work and insight work all these years, I honestly think that he just didn't know how to be a father. I got a call from my Uncle Ralphie, and he said, the priest was there. I went to the hospital, my wife went with me. His girlfriend was there. My dad was, technically, he passed, but he was there, and he stood there for about 15 minutes over him, and I felt very awkward. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know. I felt very numb. I didn't know. I knew, my dad just is dying, or he died, and this is huge. And finally, after about 15 minutes, my wife was just letting me have the moment. It came to me what I needed to do. It's probably one of the most powerful things I think I've ever done for myself. I bent over and I whispered into his ear, and I thanked him for being my father. I thanked him for all the moments. I talked about watching him shave and cutting the grass, and watching him at the restaurant and taking the bus with him when my parents got divorced, and I thanked him for that. I said, thank you for being my father, and I want you to know that that stays with me, and because of that, I'm a great father. That those moments help me. I'm not going to sit there and bastardize what my dad didn't do for me. I know all that. And so once I said that, I just felt like, it was a powerful feeling. I felt so connected to him, and I was ready for him. I let him pass. He was declared dead the next day. My Aunt Carol and Uncle Ralphie called me. without the grace of my mother and the love and nurturing of my mother, without meeting, my incredible wife, and without the mentoring that I received from Mike, my mom pushing me to go to school, my wife being my biggest support, and Mike being, really like my first father, the one who really taught me about things. Without that, I'm not sitting here talking to you right now, I don't think.
Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. 20 times. I'm smart and I love myself. 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 To build group cohesion, meaning to see if you can work together, see if you can have patience to work with each other. When I first came, they're nervous about it, sitting in this circle, they're all over the place, they're getting up every minute, looking at the door, touching this and touching that. Now they can come and just sit. They might not mentally and verbally be on the topic that I'm on, but they're sitting. Just being in a cohesive group and learning to just work in a cohesive group, it's a big win for us here.
Beat. And rock this beat.
Great style, they obviously see you as a mentor, you know what I mean? So that's not even an issue.
South, below, shots fired by the armed offender. Billy, shoot me out the window. Go to the squad. Officer shot, officer shot. All right, I'm getting another officer shot. Where are you at? Officer shot, where are you?
Sense of who is in the intervention. Average grade level 9.4. Kids average age about 16.
The University of Chicago Crime Lab selects B.A.M for a $1 million anti-violence study. The year-long study would research if B.A.M is effective on preventing youth violence. The results came out in B.A.M's favor.
In my reflective nature, I have to say that the thing that really makes this program work is having the key people who open the doors for us in the schools. The program works. For those students who come to at least half the sessions, it's 27 sessions. And the research shows that if they come to 50%, 13 or more sessions, these results will happen. 2 of the 3 results were things I knew. Number 1 was that it helped kids go from F's to D's. I never said this was an academic program that helped kids go from F's to A's. So I went to F's to D's, so that was like affirming. Pork chop, well done.
1 pork chop or 2?
I'll take 1. Over easy on the eggs. I'll take the Greek toast too.
What do you think it does for you, though, having this data?
It basically, what it does for us now is that when we go into these meetings saying, oh, we're a real good program and we're a touchy-feely social service agency, we got numbers now.
Yeah.
And that's, here's what it does. It helps these students who aren't connected to school, who are going to drop out, start to get D's. It helps them to engage in school. This is a youth engagement program. It's proven to be a youth engagement program. Here's how. B.A.M 3 years ago, when you see this video, was in one school, Clemente High School, and there was one B.A.M counselor right here. 3 years later, now we're in 17 schools. We have a team of 25. I managed the whole thing. What I'd like to do here is take you a little bit through the B.A.M program as though, information, but also as though maybe you were students and kind of get a little understanding, then open up to some Q&A. First of all, I read a little bit about the Saving Our Sons program that you're working on. I talked with Dr. And what we're doing is we're getting these boys to make heartfelt connections. That's men's work, heartfelt connections. What does that mean? I know I need to get to class. I know I'm out of integrity. And I know I need to get to class so that I can get a passing grade. That's speaking from the head. That's important. That's part of the program. That's behavioral. That's cognitive behavioral. Changing the way you think, changing the way you act. That's psychology. Men's work. I keep cutting class. I keep letting myself down. I'm breaking my mother's heart. I feel so sad that I keep breaking my mother's heart because I'm the youngest of 3 and my older brothers and sisters dropped out of school already. And to feel that pain of how does it feel to break your mother's heart? That's called a heartfelt connection. And now when I talk, I'm not saying, oh, I need to go to class or get a grade. I go, I don't want to be this way anymore. I don't want to be someone who breaks my mother's heart, man. I'm sick of this. I'm tired. Ooh, now you're doing good work. And out of that comes declaration. Man, I will, it's more powerful, it's internalized, it's deeper.
May 2011. B.A.M. had moved from 19th to 3rd in the Culture of Calm program rankings. However, in June, the Culture of Calm grant ended. As a result, many school violence prevention programs are without funding and put on hold. Regardless of the budget cuts, B.A.M. moves forward. B.A.M. uses the positive study data from the University of Chicago to significantly expand the program. For the next 2 years, B.A.M. makes great strides. With research now backing the program, foundations are more open to supporting B.A.M. long term.
The absolute most important thing about B.A.M., above all, is the training of the B.A.M. counselors, the men that we pick. You know, now that we're out there, a lot of people say, oh man, we gotta have everyone do this program. No, you gotta find the right man to do this program. The rules for checking in. I've had some B.A.M. counselors in the past tell me, man, my guys won't check in like that, man. I've had B.A.M. counselors say, man, black kids, we don't check in like that. Puerto Rican kids, we don't check in like that, man. You know, no. I've done B.A.M. groups with all white guys. I've done B.A.M. groups with all Puerto Rican guys, all black kids. I've done them with all Mexican kids. I've done them with mixed. Everyone checks in if I role model it and set the structure. So let's practice some of this. We're gonna be doing this a lot in this training. These are called check-ins. You've seen it on the video. Some of you have probably done these already in your previous careers. And we're gonna do what's called pies check-ins. Are you mad, sad, glad, scared, joyful, shameful, guilty? What's here? And spiritual. I remember speaking to you like 6 months ago saying we need an infrastructure. All this stuff we're talking about, like expanding it to wherever, we need to take care of home first and get an infrastructure. We have an infrastructure now. If we're gonna do this, if we're gonna expand this thing, if we're gonna get serious about it, then we need to do it right. And we're the experts on how to do this right. And so we have the onus of that. We have the control of that. And people on the opposite side have to be willing to listen to that. Because if they're not willing to listen to it, then there's no partnership. So when I go do my work with my boys, I'm very clear about one thing. I'm not their father. I'm fatherly.
And how do you measure progress and how do you measure success?
Internally at the agency, we measure just through, first and foremost, through metrics. Improved academic grades from quarter to quarter, promotion to the next grade level, less behavioral infractions. So when everyone, so everyone else in the agency is, you know, dealing with the expansion and this and that, and the networking and the partnerships, we're covered. My job, as I'm going to this meeting today, is not to talk specifics of expansion, it's to talk about fidelity. How do we keep it? What is it and how do we keep it that way? My big dream for this program is that I would like to make it a major program within Youth Guidance, the organization I work for, and to become sort of, you know, the coordinator of this program where there are many B.A.M. workers out there.
It's not a program for, you know, just African American kids. It's not about that. It's about all kids.
Well, I know the Bulls and B.A.M have been working together since 2012.
Yes.
Marshawn, tell us what makes the partnership so special to you guys.
The fight isn't won on fight night. The game isn't won on game day. It's all of them days and nights of practice and hard work before that. Whatever it is that you want, all of that is dependent on you graduating.
All of us will make mistakes. One word that we talk about here is integrity, where you do what you say you're gonna do. But it's a lot coming against that to challenge you, and sometimes make a weaker man or man at his weaker moments to give up.
You don't ever have to be ashamed of the way that you feel about someone as powerful as your mother, you know. And I understand, trust me, that, you know, it might not always feel the best in the world to share it, especially with your friends that you never probably talked about that. But this is important stuff.
This isn't boxing, gentlemen. This is about focus. So if you've never thrown a punch in your life, you can still be the best today.
The biggest impact on their life, I think, is going to be something like this program. I think years from now, when they look back on high school, they're not going to think, oh yeah, algebra, that was wonderful. I think what happens in the B.A.M program is going to be more meaningful to them in the years to come.
I was more growing up on the street and growing up from my brother's actions and growing up on my own. So when I met Tony, I was like, you know, this is like the man figure. You know, this is the man figure that in my life, and he's positive. You know, he's not negative like my father or my brother. He's positive. He's doing what he has to, and I respected him for that. You know.
Give me some love, man. How you doing? Yeah, good to see you, bro. Look good.
All right, checking in. My name is Vincent Rosado. I'm a soon-to-be college grad.
Say, well, I'm okay. Well, the morning calls your name. You know nothing grows where the light cannot go. Oh, light runs after us now. Something new grows.
Some young men from Hyde Park Academy who are participating in this B.A.M program. Where are the guys I talked to? Hey, stand up, y'all, so we can all see you guys.
You say, well, I'm okay. Well, the morning calls your name. You know nothing grows where the light cannot go. So wake up, let's run away.
Wow. What a great day yesterday was. You know, I saw Daryl Howard on the news over at Hyde Park. I watched Channel 11 to Chicago Tonight, saw Mr., you know, our elder statesman, Mr. Wright, doing his thing over there at Douglas with his boys. I saw George doing push-ups at Harper High School. I mean, is George doing push-ups?
One push-up.
You know? And then, of course, we saw the whole president's thing with Marshawn's student, Christian Champagne. For me personally, it was just a day where I smelled the roses, and I'm sure it was for you too. So let's just give a big, big celebration for the work you're doing here, guys. Man. Wow. So once upon a time, there were these warriors.
But at the same time, I wish I'd had a father who was around and involved. Loving, supportive parents, that's the single most important thing. Unconditional love for your child. That makes a difference.
When I went to go visit the president that morning,
I was so geeked up. I mean, I was ramped up. My heart rate was going. I couldn't settle down. So I drove over on 37th and Paulina, and I went to the house where I was a kid, 11 years old. And I kind of drove by, and I stopped, and I stared. We lived in a basement. And I'm sitting there, and I'm staring. It's like this little thing down the, and you got these big windows, and I'm looking at the apartment. And I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, time to go meet the president. I was like, holy shit.
So I have an update on Dion.
No way.
I've been in contact with him.
All right.
He's 22. 22 now.
Did he remember us?
Oh, yeah. And to this point, he's like the only fathers I ever had in my life, father-type figures with Tony and Andrew. Ever. He doesn't have a father, he doesn't have a mother.
You're kidding me.
I was like 13. I was like 13. When I first started smoking marijuana, drinking, staying out, my lowest moment is when I embraced the streets. That was my lowest moment, because I didn't have to. I chose to be in the streets. A lot of people choose that. A lot of people don't understand where you don't have to do that. When people are in school, you have a choice, stay in school or skip school. I chose to skip school because I wanted to fit in. That was my lowest moment. Embracing the streets, wanting to fit in. When I started fitting in, that's when my life started taking a toll. It went, and I'm tired of being left. So now I want to go right before it's too late. So Tony came, he asked me, sat down, he like, look, you don't have to live like this all your life. I mean, you still have a chance, you're young, you can still turn things around. I gave it a shot, and B.A.M is one reason why I have the sense I have today. Really showed me how to be a man. It showed you the tools and the things that you need in life as a man to better your character. You have negatives, work on them. You have to strive to be better. And B.A.M being in that program, I didn't want to do it at first. I didn't want to do it. I was looking at like, who is these people? Why they want to know anything about me? But it helped me reveal to myself who I was becoming and who I wanted to be, and what I didn't want to do and what I wanted to do. And it showed me a lot how to be a man. As long as I'm able to wake up, feed myself, clothe myself, shelter myself, the necessity that I need, I'm all right with that. Working, that was the best, that was the happiest time for me. Working, getting up every day, being able to work hard and know that I'm doing something good. Go home and wake up and do it all over again because I'm accomplishing something. You feel good with that. In the streets, you tearing yourself up. You destroying yourself slowly. 5 to 10 years from now, I would really want myself to be closer to God, going to church, have a family, working, helping others. That's what I see myself. I see myself really being a big inspiration in people's lives, helping them to show them that what I've been through, my past doesn't have to be your future. The future holds a lot. I've been raised up in the church, so I know that God ain't finished with me. Through prayers that I'm able to talk on this camera today, because there's no telling where I would have been. All you have to do is want to do it. Want to and put the effort. And it's nothing that you can't accomplish. Long as you got God in your heart and you walking on that right path, He gonna lead you there. He gonna lead you there. He gonna guide you straight there. Yes, my plan is to keep working, get stable enough to where I have a bank account. Then I will start going to school, finish my school, go on with my career and live a productive life that I want to live in society. Stop being a statistic, stop being labeled, and live a normal life.
I live up in the trees and I will keep you safe while you sleep. Oh, sweetheart.
I received my very first mentor, my very first true mentor when I was in college. I was about 23. And he took me under his wing for 2 years and taught me martial arts, but he taught me life skills. He was only like 6 years older than me, 5 years older than me. He was like 27, 28. But he was worldly to me, you know?
I will give you me.
Dude, what's going on, man?
How are you?
20 years.
And try to teach them about character and integrity. Being a man of your word, being responsible for your character.
Yep.
Accountability, you love this one, positive anger expression. Not holding anger inside, but learning to take it and channel it positively and get it out, you know? And these are the values we take the boys to. They sound familiar?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, like some of those I may have worked on a little bit.
A little bit, right.
This is what you always wanted.
You remember that?
Oh yeah, all right.
Mike, let me tell you something. If it wasn't for you, I mean this from my heart. If it wasn't from you, this doesn't happen.
Always had it in you.
Wow. you were my first mentor. I don't know if you, I didn't know it at the time.
I always knew you had it in you, and remember I was telling you, when someone tells you no, it's just that you haven't asked the right questions.
Yes, that's the right questions. You tell me stuff like you're a natural, just the belief in myself you gave me. I never had that. It's like that's the work I do now. Is I work with youth to get them to talk about their future, and as counselors, we do a lot of exploratory.
Chicago, we have a simple choice. Either becoming a man is the mentor or the vice lords. Either 100 black men is a role model or the gangster disciples. The deck has been stacked against the kids, and it's time we reshuffle the deck and put our kids on the top of that deck. Today, I'm calling for, in our 20 most violent-ridden neighborhoods, universal mentoring for every 8th grade, 9th grade, and 10th grader. Not 1 year, every year going forward.
I mean, I'm glad to say that I've been through what I've been through today. It made me the man I am today. I wouldn't take back nothing, because for me to be 23, I'm just glad that I'm not 30, 40 years old saying it's too late. I'm 23 and I'm still saying, yes, I can. So I'm blessed to have that opportunity and be given a second chance.
Tell me when.
Go for it.
You never knock me down, Ray. You never knock me down. You never knock me down.